Nithyanandam everyone, it's the Kundalini Yogini. Welcome back to my channel. If you haven't yet subscribed, make sure to do so to follow my journey of authentic yoga, of Hinduism, of my conscious evolution, and sharing that with you guys so that we can all work towards a more conscious planet. So today I'm going to dive into a topic which I let you guys know I was going to actually make a video about, which is diving into what an empath is, if you are one. Making sure you're aware, because I know me becoming aware that I myself was one was a very important step in my spiritual journey. And also I want to make sure how you guys can understand how to use your sensitivity as a power, as actually an empowerment for yourself, and that it doesn't have to be something which weighs on you, which damages you, which makes you sensitive or vulnerable to sensitivity in a negative way or psychic attack, any of these kind of things. So what exactly is an empath? And how you'll know if you're actually one? There's a few key things which you can look out for if any of this resonates with you guys. This video is specifically for all of you out there. So empaths are not only just sensitive emotionally, right? That's naturally what we think of when we hear the word. They're highly sensitive beings. And this means in every way, not just emotionally, but with all of the senses, all of the different senses. These can be people who are even sensitive to loud noises, chaotic situations around them, people that are very sensitive to their environment. So I'm actually going to make a second follow-up video about how you can protect your energy as an empath, but I'll get into that in the second part. So it's somebody who has very deeply intuitive abilities. Like I said, you're in tune with all of your senses. So not only are you very sensitive emotionally, but you can even have what we call supernatural kind of abilities, or at least tapped into a lot of paranormal kind of experiences. Whether that's having out-of-body experiences at a young age, you might be really easy at lucid dreaming, you're a vivid dreamer. You might have glimpses where you kind of start to predict small things about the future. Intuitive glimpses where you know something is going to happen to someone and it does happen. All of these kind of things. Especially with dreams as a child, that was one thing that I had a lot of. Every single dream I would remember, every single dream, every night, and there would be a lot of times where I dreamt and I knew it was a different kind of dream, and it actually predicted something which was going to happen. Even one instance I predicted that my grandfather was going to die, and he did. A few weeks later, he actually left the body right after I had that dream. So many different instances, and this can manifest in different ways for everyone. But yes, even sensitivity at a physical level can manifest. So, even if you're watching television, you hear a very violent or aggressive music, all of these things can actually very much affect you in a deep, deep way, more than it would a normal person, more than it would an average person. And, you might just even be triggered into deep emotional reactions, even by seeing strangers going through something, whether it's sadness or anger or happiness. You already feel that emotion is yours. So it's a beautiful quality to have, actually, because how I like to explain it is that we're people who are in the process of waking up. So the sensitivity is not just, seen, and in the way we understand that word is kind of negative sometimes. But it's actually that these are very aware beings who are waking up and are highly conscious. So a lot of things disturb them, which wouldn't disturb maybe somebody else that is really blocked off their sensitivity. They've really shut themselves down. So empaths are people who have not blocked themselves off. Even if they feel they want to, it's very hard for them to close themselves off. They feel everything deeply, and they feel wounds of people very deeply. They feel the weight of the world very deeply. They can't even understand how things happen the way they do sometimes. This is the biggest thing which I struggled with as an empath as a child. It becomes very hard to grasp large negative things. For example, terrorist attack like 9/11. When that happened, I remember I couldn't even fathom it. Like, my mind couldn't even understand it, how humans could do that. So I always felt very distant from my own human race, actually, because I couldn't understand how all of these things happened in the world, murders, violence, all of these kind of things, right? So if you relate to any of these qualities, you are highly likely you are an empath too. And, other people use different words to describe empaths. Sometimes they're called highly sensitive beings, HEBs in psychology. Sometimes we're called almost even like the indigo children, rainbow children. It's beings that are waking up and that are becoming highly conscious beings who are not crafted for the world as it is, but for the world as it will be. That's the way I like to see it. The first thing I want to tell you guys, okay? Number 1, you are not crazy. You are not overly sensitive. You are not dramatic. You are awake. Okay? You're a being who is awakening to consciousness, which makes you sensitive to the events around you. Now, things may bother you that don't bother other people. But it's because you're one of the few that is waking up. It's not because it's a problem that you're having. It's that you are waking up and many other people are not. That does make you different, and I know it's hard to be different, especially if you're a young person, but this is a very beautiful quality that you have, which sets you apart and is going to set you up for success later in life if you allow it, if you own this quality and make it your power. Okay? And I'm going to let you guys know how you can actually do that. Number 2, powerful cognition I want you guys to know. You need to address what's going on inside of you. You need to address your emotions and your sensitivity, what's happening in your inner world, because quite often as empaths, we feel the pain of so many other people, we feel the weight of the world, and we put our attention and energy to that. That's okay to some extent, but that can't be an escape for us from our own pain, our own personal experiences that we may be hiding from or not addressing inside of us. And this builds up, this bottles up, and what happens? You explode. You implode, you withdraw from the world, you could ruin your relationships because you're not addressing these things. So when you're feeling a lot of feelings, when you're having intense emotions, whether it's positive or negative, you have to address them. If you don't address them, they eat you alive. They will literally hijack you and become you. And you are not your emotions. It's one experience, one human experience you're having, but it is not you. It is not the ultimate you. How you can do this, okay? This sounds like a great talk, but how you can actually go beyond your emotions and not let them take over you is by taking responsibility for everything which has happened to you. And how you do this is through the process called completion. The completion process was first introduced to me a few years ago by my guru, Paramahamsa Nithyananda. I actually learned it in person in India at a retreat called Inner Awakening. And I'll link it down below for you guys to check out all the information on that if you're interested. But even if you're not, you do not need to go to India to learn this. All of this information is freely available online, and there's a few introductory videos which can really dive you into the science of completion and how you can use it. And what it means is basically removing anything in your past which is currently affecting your present and is going to change how your future results, which is going to affect your future decisions. It's clearing all of that out of your inner space so that you're always in a space of action, not reaction. As an empath, this is so key. I'm telling you, out of everything I'm sharing in the few videos I'm going to be making about empaths, this is the secret. This is my secret. This is my key. This was my golden ticket, is just the science of completion. If you only get anything from, one thing from any of my videos, it's please let it be this, okay? And last point I want to cover with you guys is to ultimately come into the powerful cognition, the understanding that you are a divine being. You are not a human being having a spiritual experience. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. And your empathy is a power. And especially when it comes to those sensitive, highly sensitive abilities, things such as intuition, foresight, clairvoyance, all of these kind of things. Don't be scared of them. Don't be scared to use them. We have so much fear programming around abilities like this in our society, whether it's hate or fear or making fun of them in TV or through our religion, especially Christianity, will put you off of these qualities inside of you. But they're very beautiful qualities to have, and they make you extremely divine, connected to that higher source. You're actually tapping into that energy. That's all it is that you're connecting to that divinity. That's why you're able to access different places in time, different levels, different dimensions, all of these things. That's why you're manifesting supernatural abilities. So don't be scared of them. There's so many ways you can use them for good, to help others, to help yourself. And that leads to my last point, to use your gifts, use your connection, even if it's just your emotional empathy. You'll see probably your whole life people have been drawn to share with you, to open up with you, because they feel that you hold that space for them, that you're always in that space of oneness with them. So you're probably a person who people come to for advice and listening. Don't be scared to be that person. This is the best way you can complete yourself, is by helping others, creating their reality. Always manifest for you back. It's a law of life. It's a karmic law. So use your gifts. The world needs people like you. The world needs people like us to wake up, to keep waking up. We're going to be some of the first facilitators of change in this world. So don't withdraw. Don't hide yourself because you're scared to be hurt. Put yourself out there continuously, whether somebody hurts you or not. Never stop putting yourself out there. You will feel that love back. You will feel so much of that gratitude, because people are going to be showering it on you for what you're giving them, whether it's even just a listening ear, whether it's advice, whether it's, using your abilities, whatever it may be. So I hope this video was helpful for you guys. The next video is going to be about how you can make sure to not let your energy get drained, to not, prevent psychic attack and these kind of things, which a lot of empaths seem to get lost and struggle in, and usually go into that negative route, feeling like they're having so much weight from this quality inside them instead of feeling empowered. So I'm going to dive into that in the next video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you have any questions or if I can help you with anything. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll see you soon. Nithyanandam.